Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
The song that you are currently listening to is called Finally Woke, performed by AMAC and The Height, who will be coming to perform at the Netherland Farmers Market Harvest Festival very soon. More details coming up later in the podcast. For more information about AMAC and The Height, be sure to head to their website, amacandtheheight.com.
Myself, every time I cut my health, every time I push myself way a little further from who I'm meant to be, I'm losing the battle we pursuing. In time when I find the blessings always shines when you're blind to all the darkness in your mind. Smell the roses and go cruising down the road of your choosing.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Jamie Lammers, and welcome to Music of the Mountains, Where to Be and What to See, brought to you by the Mountaineer Podcast. Before we get into today's interview, it's time for our preliminary announcements. If you haven't subscribed to the Mountaineer before, and you're looking to support news from peak to peak, then be sure to head to the mtnear.com and click on the subscribe button in the top right corner of our homepage. From there, you'll get full access to our digital archives and scanned copies of our physical newspapers. You can also choose to send a physical subscription to your mailbox or the mailbox of someone that you love. If you're interested in being involved in the newspaper and or the podcast in any way, shape, or form, then be sure to email me at media@themountaineer.com, our editor-in-chief, Barbara Hart, at info@themountaineer.com, or frontdesk@themountaineer.com to learn more about how you can be involved. You can also learn about advertising packages by heading to the mtnear.com/advertise. And finally, our top story today brought to you by Brittany Wagner.
Our top story today comes from Mindy Leary. 9/11 stair climb. Powerful, memorable. On the morning of September 11th, the Ameristar Hotel and Casino once again became a place of remembrance. For the 17th year, first responders, families, and community members gathered in Black Hawk to climb in honor of those lost in the attacks of 2001. The stair climb participants gathered outside the Ameristar at the Richmond Beer Garden at 9 a.m. The sun was bright, and though they were gathered for a memorial, spirits were high as teams and groups stretched, chatted, and geared up for the climb. You can read the full story in this week's Mountaineer or at themountaineer.com.
Thank you so much, Brittany, for bringing us our top story. And now, let's get into today's interview. Our guest this time around, do you mind introducing yourself real quick?
Yeah, for sure. My name's Alex Mackenzie-Low. Everybody calls me AMAC, and I front the band AMAC and The Height.
And I hear that AMAC and The Height will be performing at the Ned Farmers Market very soon.
That's right.
But this is not just a Ned Farmers Market. This is the Netherland Farmers Market Harvest Fest, the final big celebration of the farmers market in 2025.
Oh, love it. That's awesome.
So can I ask when AMAC and The Height first started?
Yeah, so I guess we technically started in 2013 when I was graduating college at CU Denver. I was putting out an album that needed a band for it. We were called AMAC DZ at the time. And then, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, we rebranded to AMAC and The Height. And yeah, it's definitely been member changes throughout the decade. Now it's a rotating cast, but a lot of the same members. So yeah, it keeps it fun and interesting. Yeah, that's more or less the progression.
So what inspired you to change the band name from AMAC DZ, the letters DZ, to AMAC and the Height?
Basically, Mackenzie-Low was just kind of a weird name. It didn't really resonate with people or give them an image or any kind of insight as to what the music is about. And that was just a nickname in high school that people called me Mackenzie-Low. We're like, what does the music do? It brings you to the height. It's elevating, it's empowering, positive music. And the band, they wanted a voice so they could be their own entity. So we landed on AMAC and the Height.
Well, Alex, can you talk a bit about how you got started in music and how you've developed your songwriting and performing over the years?
Oh, yeah. I started writing songs real young, like 6 or 7 years old. Been in at least 10 bands throughout my life, middle school and high school. Everything from like hardcore metal to emo, and been a hip-hop band on bass. So a lot of different musical styles, ultimately landed in the reggae, rock, hip-hop kind of world, although we also are considered a jam band by most. We like to improvise. I love to improvise, so that's kind of shaped my musical journey. But yeah, I went to CU Denver for music business and recording arts. Got a lot of great connections there. Thrown festivals. One I started was called Spread the Word Music Festival, which went on for 7 years in Denver. Now I do the talent buying for Frozen Dead Guy Days up in Estes Park. I do all the booking for Moe's Barbecue. Been the talent buyer there for like 12 years. So a lot of playing music, a lot of music business stuff. Also an audio engineer, so I run sound for venues and festivals and such. So yeah, it's like to say versatile in the music industry and lend a hand where I can.
And are there any particular musical influences that have inspired you throughout the course of your performing?
I'm constantly inspired by bands coming up in the scene. My favorite band is called Wookie Foot. They've certainly influenced my songwriting at times. Bands like the Grateful Dead, all the way to hip-hop artists, Tribe Called Quest, stuff like that. I'm really just open to it all. I've been kind of getting into country with Tyler Childers lately. I like to just stay open to whatever's good music,
So does AMAC and the Height primarily perform originals or covers or a mix of both?
Definitely prioritize originals for the overwhelming majority of our shows. I mean, if we're playing, we don't do bar gigs much these days, but if we're doing something like that where people don't really know us, they're just there to party, maybe we'll do a little more cover heavy, but most of the time, 95% originals. That's what it's all about. But it's cool to mix it up, do something people know, and put our own spin on it.
So how long have you been songwriting as a whole? You started when you were really young, right?
Yeah, like at age 6, 7, right in there, like elementary school, I was writing lyrics and stuff, and got much more into music in middle school, like actually learning theory and whatnot. So yeah, I've been doing it pretty much my whole life, and I highly doubt that'll change for the remainder of it.
And how does the band contribute to the songs that you bring in?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's definitely an organic kind of process. I'll bring in like the rough roadmap with the basic chord changes, melodies, lyrics, the rough map of the song, say 70-80%. And then I'll really just give the guys free control to write their part as they see fit, because they're all incredible musicians and I trust them thoroughly, and I'm usually just incredibly pleasantly surprised by what they come up with. So yeah, we'll just hammer it down, get in a room together, and try and, come up with cool parts. We love bands like the Allman Brothers, making cool licks to come in and out of sections, and love incorporating that into our set list, coming in and out of jams, into different originals. Yeah, so pretty organic process, all of us just kind of openly communicating and being open to whatever.
So it sounds like you and the band in general are very interested in improvisation during your performances.
Yeah. We'll like rehearse ideas or concepts for jams just so we have a rough idea what we want to do at times. Then sometimes we'll have no idea. We'll just be listening thoroughly. Like the old adage goes, sometimes it's better just play nothing, let the other guys rock it. But yeah, we really love improvising and that whole scene.
And what do you love most about being able to perform and share this music with an audience?
Oh man, just seeing all the smiles and the stories of how a song might have made somebody's day or changed their life in some way or another. That's what really makes me happy. And just traveling with my friends, seeing new places, all that definitely keeps things exciting and good in the moment, Yeah. And just, again, jamming and improvising and being surprised by what happens in those moments. And, of course, like songwriting, you never know when you're on the verge of another great song. So it's just that excitement of putting stuff out, seeing what happens.
Now, next, I asked Alex what kind of lineup he prefers playing in. Does he prefer playing solo or with a group of people? Are there pros and cons to both? He started answering the question and talked about how he prefers performing in groups, but for some reason, the audio cut out right at the beginning. So we're going to jump in right in the middle of his answer.
Just because more energy, more just collaboration. I just love playing with the guys, bigger sound. But I definitely do solo shows, do a looping show where I'll live loop bass and drums and keys and guitar and more of a dancey kind of thing. And that I'm very cover heavy because, you have to have repeating chord progressions. I don't really write repetitive music in that regard. So that's definitely a cover heavy kind of show. And then I'll also do like just cut and dry acoustic guitar, vocals, singing nice and raw and intimate. Those kind of shows are fun too. So mixing them up is great. Then I also play in another band called Cashed Out, another reggae rock band that's out of Orlando, Florida. I play keys with those guys. Definitely lots of different kinds of gigs. Keeps things exciting.
And is there anything that you hope people will take away from your shows and your music when they come to see you guys perform?
Yeah, I hope they see that reggae rock is an exciting form of music and there's many different ways to approach it. We're very in that slightly stupid stick figure kind of scene, but we approach it more with a progressive kind of outlook. We call it proggy, like really intricate kind of reggae. So yeah, people could be exposed to that and kind of a new style of music. And also, again, just the message, hope that it uplifts them and makes them want to live life to the fullest even more. And yeah, just inspire positive things.
Was there anything else in general about the band or the upcoming Farmers Market show that you want to talk about?
Definitely want to shout out Danny Schaefer for booking us. He's always had our back and booked us at the Southern Sun, Mount Sun many times over. So want to give a shout out to that dude. And also, if I can, want to shout out our shows coming up next month. We're playing at the Fox Theater on October 24th and the Aggie Theater on October 25th. Both of those shows are with Wookiefoot. So I know this is mainly about the Harvest Fest, but if I may, I'd love to plug those shows.
Well, I think those are all the big questions that I have on my end.
Sweet. Thanks so much for reaching out, man. Definitely familiar with Mountaineer and appreciate all that you guys do. So thanks for keeping it going.
Thank you so much, Alex, for coming on board and joining us for the podcast. His group, AMAC on the Height, will be performing very soon at the Nederland Farmers Market during the Harvest Festival. The festival takes place on Sunday, October 5th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's located at 80 East 2nd Street and 85 East 1st Street. Bear Hat will perform from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and AMAC on the Height will perform from 1:30 to 4 p.m. For more information about AMAC on the Height, be sure to head to their website at amacontheheight.com. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of Music of the Mountains, Where to Be and What to See, brought to you by the Mountaineer Podcast. I'll be back very soon with another episode. In the meantime, if you want to share this episode or others around with whoever you see fit, then be sure to head to the mtnear.com and scroll near to the bottom of our homepage, or head to the mtnearpodcast.buzzsprout.com to see a full archive of all of our episodes. If you're interested in being involved in the newspaper and or the podcast in any way, shape, or form, remember to contact one of us at info@themountaineer.com, media@themountaineer.com, and or front desk at themountaineer.com, and we'll get something sorted for you. And finally, be sure to find all of our most important links by heading to the top of our homepage or to any individual episode description of our podcast, where you can find our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and local events calendar, where you can submit local events coming to your community or your venue. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. The song that you are currently listening to is called Head First. It's performed by AMAC and the Height. You can find projects released by AMAC and the Height, along with projects released under their original name, AMAC DZ, wherever you get your music. AMAC and the Height will be performing at the Nederland Farmers Market for the Harvest Festival very soon. The Harvest Festival takes place on Sunday, October 5th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Bear Hat will perform from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and AMAC and the Height will be performing from 1:30 to 4 p.m. The Farmers Market is located at 80 East 2nd Street and 85 East 1st Street in Netherland. For more information about AMAC and the Height, be sure to head to their website, amacandtheheight.com.
So far from me to wanna keep you down. I don't play them games no more. Lessons repeat, the world keeps turning round. I'm bound to meet you on higher ground. If we get washed out in this storm, living in the past, well, it's time to cut the cord.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.